Alright, so in this video I'm going to be talking a little bit of how I got my PrimeWeld Cut 60 plasma cutter set up to my plasma or CNC plasma machine here. So a little bit about the machine. It is a Chinese unit. It's what they call portable CNC plasma cutter. And when it comes to this machine, it's 1500 by 3500 millimeter cut capacity, or it might be a travel capacity, but this machine does travel along a rail, and then it has another arm here that has its own rail, and that's actually where the torch is connected, or the z-axis. So that's where everything connects. You can do flame cutting with this if you wanted to instead of plasma cutting. It does include all the solenoids and all that stuff. So it's pretty long. And this machine, it has a torch height controller, and then everything comes down to this control board here. And when it comes to that control board, you don't need a computer. The only time you need a computer is to actually edit your files. But this machine actually has a shape library inside of it, so it already has preset shapes in there that you can cut from, and all you have to do is just set the parameters for those shapes. So when it comes to the plasma cutter, the PrimeWeld Cut 60, it is a CNC capable machine, and it is CNC ready. They do include the plug for it, and the owner's manual actually comes with a nice documentation on how to connect it to your CNC machine. Now, the only problem I had was that this machine was not compatible with my CNC machine. So I actually had to open up the PrimeWeld, which I'll show a video of, tap into the raw arc lines that connect to the voltage board. I had to put an external plug and then have all that undivided arc come to this torch height controller. Now, anybody that has researched into one of these PrimeWelds, of course you're going to see that it is CNC capable, and there is a raw arc voltage that is available for the machine, for other types of machines. But the problem is that it's broken down by some resistors. So 100k ohm resistors of power, or resisted power, coming into a secondary voltage board, it just doesn't work. And this right here, there's two boards in this torch height controller. One is the dividing board. The dividing board sends the signals to this other board here, and then that's what gives all the OK signals and other signals to the actual CNC. So two dividing boards, it just didn't work out for me. So that's why I had to actually open it up, attach directly to the wires that are connected to the terminals, and have that full power, like no resistance at all, full power to my CNC board here, or torch height controller. I got the PrimeWeld all opened up, and in order to save time on this video, I went ahead and wired everything that I had to do. And the thing about this machine, it already has wires coming directly from the leads. So from the electrode and the negative, or the ground, they actually come through this one wire right here. It's a red and black. So all I did was install a ferrite ring there, and I followed it back, and all I did was I tapped into these wires, because these are pretty much direct raw. It's all raw voltage to the actual voltage divider back there, or the voltage board. So all I did was I tapped into that line, put another ferrite ring there. I put one on the other side, and anywhere else that this machine needed it, because there's some of these wires that, it did have some of those ferrites in there, but they were poorly placed. So I just went ahead and I zip tied everything and make sure that everything's kind of away from each other. So this should be good. All it's left to do is just zip tie this ground here. So anyways, the only thing after having to tap into the wires there all I had to do was actually mount a new plug to the back of the machine. So I'll just go ahead and show you guys really quick here. So I ended up ordering a connector a couple days ago. So it kind of matches the one that comes with the machine. It comes with a little screw cap, and you know, it's like it's a way smaller version compared to what's with the machine. So I have all my raw arc voltage coming out through this one pin here, and this is the one that comes with the machine, and then this is the little 3-pin that I put on there. So they kind of match on there. That's pretty cool. So I was going to end up putting this on another part of the machine, but I just decided to keep the ports close to each other. So that's the way how you hook up one of these things. Now I did have to get permission to tap into the PrimeWeld, which they did give me. I did not void my warranty by putting another plug, but that's just because I went for the OK. So if anybody actually has to open up their machine, I would suggest that you contact the customer service first. Really good thing on PrimeWeld that I was able to do that. Most companies out there, yeah, that automatically voids warranty, so it's a no-go. So I'm glad I went with that machine. And when it comes to the CNC machine, even though it's brand new, you can still see the cover there for the screen. I haven't peeled it off yet. I actually bought this unit from somebody off of Craigslist who purchased it online. They weren't able to get this machine going just because of the poor documentation, all the manuals that come with it, and he couldn't get his CNC machine set up, or the CNC machine set up with his plasma cutter, because he didn't know about the arc voltage having to be pure to the machine. So I mean, I had to learn all that after a couple hundred hours of reading manuals over and over. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to show you guys really quick what this shape library is on this machine. So really quick, I'm going to go into the shape library, and this right here shows you all the shapes that I can cut. Of course, I actually have to dial in everything. So just to give you guys a little sample here, I guess I can go down to this flange, and then I can change the lead in and the lead out on the cut, the size or diameter of the circles here or of the shape, and then I can actually change the quantity of holes I want on this. So say if I wanted just one, I could enter that, and I'll just get a 1-hole flange there, and I can put as many as I want. So all you would have to do is just OK it, and everything goes over to this screen, and you're actually able to go into the part options, and you're able to select a pierce line or a pierce section. Like this one has it from inside the hole. I mean, this is basically like a standard type of G-code for cutting something like this, but you can actually change the parameters on this. You could change the angle, also the start point, or the pierce line, well, both. And then you could put an array of things. So if you wanted to make like 10 of these, you can actually go in there and you can nest it, stagger, straight. It all depends what you want. So really cool little machine. If you're doing flame cutting, you can turn on the flame or the actual gas. You can do a preheat, then a piercing, and then you do your run, and then you can close everything out. So just to give you an idea, you can kind of hear that clicking. That's the solenoids for the gas, which I don't have connected, but I mean, everything is all on this board here. So pretty smooth interface there. But that's pretty much it for this machine. Also, the torch height controller is pretty easy to use once you learn its tricks. You can turn the auto on or off. You could change the height, your starting height, or your pierce height, your pierce delay. You can do a arc on test. Also, it has a menu system to change other parameters. You can update this. You can control your Z up or down. And you can actually do the same thing on the controller here. So this is actually hooked up to this and they work together. So yeah, that's the Chinese portable plasma cutter machine. I don't know who actually makes this. I know there's a couple of sellers on there, whether it's Morphin or I don't know, there's so many on there. So I don't know the exact model number for this other than for the actual components on it. I think I'll go ahead and leave it there. I want to go ahead and thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.